And we're live. Welcome to Part Time Nerd with me, your host, Alan. TJ, what is going on? Whiskey Pro 86 in the house. TJ, congratulations on hitting affiliate this week on Twitch. We knew you'd get there, buddy. We're proud of you. And I hope everybody's having a good night tonight. TJ, I hope you're having a good night. We got Ryan Francis in there. What's going on, Ryan? How you doing? Sitting back. I'm drinking a. I had this on Strikeout Beer just before the Super Bowl. It's the Pretzel Stout limited peanut butter release. I had some more in the fridge, and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and get myself one of these because it's a pretty tasty little beer. If you haven't tried it yet, you definitely need to go and pick it up and try it out. Ryan, hope you're having a good night tonight. Speaking of Ryan, he's a host of Let's Do a Podcast, him and Anthony. And they just did their first live show this last Sunday. It was a blast. It was a great time. Hopefully that's something they keep doing. They keep that up. You know, maybe not on a weekly basis, but give that to me once a month. You know, give me that interaction. Let's have a little fun. We did everything we could to shoot your guys' rails off, and you guys fought through it. You fought through it. What is up, Brandon? Rapid Dave Streams in the house. How you doing? All right, so today let's go ahead. I'm gonna jump into here in a little bit. I'm gonna start talking about the Tick. I know that's why TJ's here. He's been hounding me to watch the Tick on Amazon. It's the live action. They've got 2 seasons of that now. I'm 7 episodes through season 1, so I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Before I get into that though, I always like to start the shows off talking about some of the comics, comic books coming out, comic books that just came out, things like that. Let's see here. Mike Stover, do you think Moon Knight should start a miniseries before bringing him into the MCU? Mike, so you know what? I'll just go ahead and talk about that right now. I was going to get into the comics, but you brought up Moon Knight, and I had that on the list to talk about today. So Moon Knight is getting a Disney Plus series. So it's actually going to have a TV series on Disney Plus, and everything that came down today is Oscar Isaac was cast as Moon Knight. I haven't heard anything actually official, but all the rumors and the speculation is this did happen. It's just a matter of time before Marvel actually announces it themselves, and I'm excited about him being cast as Moon Knight. I loved him if Oscar Isaac. That's Poe Dameron from the latest series of the Star Wars. He's done several other things, but I think he can definitely bring a good aspect to that role of that Moon Knight. That he's that tortured character who is not quite right and not all there. So I'm definitely excited about them bringing him into the MCU. They talked about bringing the series on Disney Plus, and it's been a while, and you've been waiting to hear the casting news and all that. And today it came down. Oscar Isaac cast as Moon Knight, and I'm super excited about that. What are you guys thinking? Drop some lines in the comments. Let's hear what everybody has to say about that. Are you guys excited about Oscar Isaac being cast there? Is there someone else you were thinking of to be cast there? Let's hear your thoughts and just let me know what you're thinking on that. But Moon Knight's one of those characters that I've always loved him. I've got a bunch of his older comics. I picked up some of his newer stuff. He doesn't currently have a series out. He did just have a run in the Avengers, the Age of Knush, which was a great storyline that brought the Phoenix Saga. It's the lead into the Phoenix Saga. You've got a new Phoenix getting ready to come, and for a moment it was Moon Knight had the powers of the Phoenix. Then he got rid of them, and now you don't really know where that power is going to go to, and that's kind of where the Marvel comics are going to be going to here. That's the next big one of the next big storylines. You've got that, and of course you got the King in Black coming out in I think like a couple months. I think it starts December, January. It's coming up real soon. Null, Venom's leading into that, and that's just going to affect all aspects of the Marvel comic universe, and I'm excited about that. But let's get into a few more comics. So one thing that I always like to talk about is my covers of the week, comic book covers that I really enjoyed that came out. 3 covers I'm going to talk about today are all those Alex Ross Timeless covers. I featured all those last week on the show as well as a couple others, but this week those were the 3 best covers that I saw out there. I'm going to start. I'm going to say the best one for last. I'm going to start off with the Cyclops one. Just Alex Ross, just the way that he draws these characters is phenomenal. He's drawing them in that old school look, that old style. that classic look, and I mean he's just absolutely crushing it. This Cyclops, this is Cyclops. You know, if you grew up reading comics or anything like that, this is how you saw Cyclops. This is how you pictured him. The next one, which is one of my favorite series out right now, was the Daredevil that Alex Ross did. I mean, just that Daredevil is just so menacing with the eyes, you know, all red out. Uh, the suit, the all red, the DD on it, just completely a classic look. You got the horns on there, and on top of that, it's one of the best series out there right now. Going, Chip Zdarsky is absolutely crushing this series right now, and he's tackling a whole new aspect of it of when a superhero has to answer for his wrongs and the things that he's done, and that's what he's been doing with this. And you've got Daredevil going on trial for manslaughter essentially because he wasn't all right and he screwed up and he killed a guy. And now he's having to answer for that. He's turned himself in. You know, he's under a Superhero Protection Act where he doesn't have to reveal his identity, so he's still going to trial and everything while having the suit on and the mask on, so he doesn't have to reveal who he is. And I mean, this is the comic that I wait for every single week to come out, and I can't wait for it to come out every week. And the last cover I'm going to show you guys tonight, this was my absolute favorite cover. And this is one of those characters that I've grew up loving. I absolutely loved him, Nightcrawler, and the way that Alex Ross really tackled this Nightcrawler, he looks like a complete and total badass on this. Uh, those yellow eyes, that dark look, that grin, just everything about this screams just like he's just completely a total a badass. And if you didn't know better, you would think he was a bad guy. You know, just with that look and the way that he is, he's the Nightcrawler. He's kind of been compared to a devil in certain aspects. He really tackles that religious aspect. His character does, good, bad, things like that. And I just thought Alex Ross just completely captured his look in this, and I absolutely love it. Those are the three big covers that I absolutely love this week. Yeah, that Nightcrawler is awesome. Too bad Sony screwed him up. Yes, that's a character that I really hope the MCU brings in when they bring in the X-Men into the universe, because Sony completely screwed the pooch with Nightcrawler when they brought him into the X-Men franchise. And that guy was just kind of a pea, and that's not the Nightcrawler that I know. That's not the Nightcrawler that I grew up with. That Nightcrawler's a total badass, and yeah, they just completely screwed the pooch on that. Hopefully, when the MCU brings the X-Men into the universe, Nightcrawler's one of those characters that they bring in and they do him justice and they do him right, so he gets that redemption. Because I hate for that to be the way that he's portrayed on screen, because I didn't like that at all. When you first heard Nightcrawler was going to be in that movie, I was super excited, and then just the way that they put him out there, I was just like, man, I just, I just couldn't do it. I wasn't a big fan. Yeah, he was better in X2 than he was in the rebooted one for sure. But I mean, both ways, it just I wanted more. You got really a good aspect of him when he was first jumped into the X2 when he's going through, the White House, but he's not under his control and things like that. And he's just completely going through, bam, bam, taking guys out, taking everybody out. Um, here, there, jumping here, jumping there, jumping all over the place. But then once they kind of brought him over to the good side, you're just kind of like, oh, okay. It was all right. It wasn't what I'd wanted or I'd expected. So let's stay with the MCU and with the X-Men. The news, TJ, I think TJ's in here. The news came out that there's a possibility of maybe they found their Wolverine in Dacre Montgomery. He was in, if you watch Stranger Things, he was Billy Hargrove in Stranger Things. He was a complete BA in that, and he actually tweeted out a picture of essentially him in the Nightcrawler, or not the Nightcrawler, in like Wolverine. It's that close up. He's got that hair. He's got the cigar. I mean, he completely looked and morphed into Wolverine. And if that's who they're going to cast as Wolverine, I'm super excited about that. I think he will, you're bringing a person who's coming in and being Wolverine who's younger, and I think he's someone who can really fill those shoes that Hugh Jackman had. Because I mean, Hugh Jackman was awesome as Wolverine. Um, I think this kid will bring a different edge to him. Whereas I thought Hugh Jackman did have that edge and things like that, but I like to see him a little bit more edgy, more rough, more rugged, things like that. And this kid's definitely going to be able to do that. And again, I trust in the MCU, Kevin Feige and all that, and seeing them do it the right way. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, shortly after he released that tweet, it was taken down. So you don't know if it's he put it out there and people are like, hey, it's a little bit too soon, or if the heads at Marvel were like, hey, you can't put that out there yet. We'll announce it, we'll release it, but hopefully that is the Wolverine that we're going to get. There's a few other people that have been rumored, and we've talked about it here on the show in past episodes. People that we would like to see play that Wolverine role. He was a name that never really came up when we were all talking about it, but I think he would be awesome. I think the next Wolverine should show more of the feral side. Yes, and that's what I think. Montgomery would do. He's got that look. It just I feel like you're really going to get that raw, and that's what I hope for. You're getting a younger Wolverine, so on top of the fact that he's younger, and he looks like he might be a little bit more edgy. Yes, let's get that more feral side of it. I think that would be awesome. You bring him in almost as a bad guy. He's not part of the X-Men yet. You're getting him out of the Weapon X program. I think that would be absolutely awesome. The next Wolverine should be me and SOB with an R-rated like Deadpool. Yeah, I mean, and Marvel has come out and said that they are, and Disney has come out and said they are definitely open to making some R-rated movies with the superhero movies, and they kind of have to with the way that Deadpool's gone and the success of Deadpool. They have to keep that if they're going to continue Deadpool, which everything that you're reading and everything that you're seeing is they are really going to push for Ryan Reynolds to be a big part of the MCU and the Daredevil, not the Daredevil, the Deadpool character to be a big part. There's rumors out there that they would want him part in Spider-Man being part of that, and I would really like to see on screen that Spider-Man Deadpool dynamic that you have in the comics, because that is a really good dynamic that I don't feel like you get enough of. They did just have the Spider-Man Deadpool comic, but that recently ran its course and it was over. I would love to see something like that on screen. I've even heard rumors that they were talking about making Deadpool taking the place of Stan Lee. So you'll have Deadpool show up in a cameo in every single Marvel movie, a la Stan Lee. So that would be really cool. But yeah, I would definitely like to see. They would struggle if Ryan doesn't continue as Deadpool. Yeah, I mean that's the only way. There's no one else who can play Deadpool. I mean, once Ryan Reynolds did it, that's it. And when he's done playing it, just leave it alone. Do you think Colossus from Deadpool should be used for all the X-Men movies yet to come? I like Colossus. That's a little bit of a different take because they kind of really went with that super good versus that bad aspect, that yin that yang. Um, I see Colossus as being more of a tougher guy and not quite the they really portrayed him as a soft guy in the Deadpool movies. But if you're going to bring Ryan Reynolds over as Deadpool, Colossus is who you're going to bring over, and you're going to bring that Colossus over. So is there going to be some sort of a transition with that? I don't know. But the guy who plays Colossus, I like. He's done a good job. I've definitely enjoyed his portrayal. It's just completely different from what you get in the comics and things like that. What about the boat captain? Can he cam? The boat captain can cam. This guy. What is up, Chris? How you doing, sir? Hope you're having a good night. What's TJ guy? I'm open to a Deadpool Spider-Man crossover. However, they pretty not. They better not screw it up. I'm assuming that's what you meant there, TJ. But yeah, no. Hopefully they. I would definitely be in on that. And I've enjoyed Tom Holland's Spider-Man. His portrayal of Spider-Man, I think, has been pretty good. Darren, what is up? Darren Clark's in the house. Darren is everywhere. I'm telling you, he's like, be careful. Darren's watching. and he's everywhere. Just saying. Love you, Darren. Thanks for stopping in. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going to be coming next. This next wave of the Marvel movies is going to be coming out. The next wave of casting. You've got all these rumors coming out. I really want to see some of these rumors start to come to fruition. Um, get some of these, especially on the Disney Plus side. I really want to see some of these shows that they're working on for Disney Plus. You know, um, was it Winter Soldier and the Falcon? I can't wait for that to come out. The What If animated series that they're doing. You've got WandaVision that's going to be coming out. I think that's November. I think we've got that coming out. Professor Leonard, how you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. If Black Widow ever comes out, I'd like to see a Deadpool Taskmaster feud. That would be awesome. Some of the latest I've been hearing about Black Widow is they just might just go ahead and just drop it for streaming. They're kind of getting to the point to where they're just like, you know what, everybody else is doing it. But then I've also heard that they're just going to drop it to streaming and not charge like they did with Mulan, because they did face some backlash over that and things like that. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully it eventually comes out because it does look good. I'm excited to see Taskmaster on the screen, and it really looks like they're doing it right with the character. You see him studying the film and things like that and learning everything, and that's his, I guess, superpower. You know, he learns everybody's moves, how they work, and so he can combat, and he's ready for everything he's coming up against. And the only way you kind of hear them, you know, hey, the only way to fight him is to do something that you wouldn't normally do. So yeah, I would love to see Deadpool Taskmaster fight. I There's so much I would love to see with Deadpool. There's so much that I would love to see with the MCU that they're working on. I saw some rumors today that they're talking about possibly bringing in Emma Stone as Spider Gwen. You know, because they're going into the multiverse with Doctor Strange. They're going into the multiverse with Spider Man. So there's a lot of things that they can do. Are we going to start getting Miles Morales in this next movie? Is it going to be a little while before we get him? What's going on? I think the general consensus is everybody's ready for Miles to come in, especially if you're introducing the multiverse. That's one of the characters that you have to bring in. I mean, you have to bring him in, and you have to bring in Spider Gwen if you're doing the multiverse. It's just at what point in time do you bring those two characters in? Do you bring them in at the same time, or do you kind of work your way into it? I think Marvel's done a good job of working characters in and not putting too many in, a la Justice League. Um, and like Batman versus Superman, everything with the DC universe. I think they just try to do too much and go too over the top that they really screw that stuff up. I mean, I really don't think Justice League, the Snyder Cut's going to be that great. They're talking about Jared Leto's Joker's going to be in it. Deathstroke's going to be in it. Lex Luthor, but you know they're talking about it might just be the cameo that he had. Darkseid's going to be in it. Steppenwolf. They're bringing so many people into it and so many things. That's what went wrong with Batman versus Superman is you put too much into the movie. You know, had you left the half-assed um, Doomsday out of that, I think you have a better movie. And you're shoehorning, you know, Wonder Woman into it. And it's just too much, too much. They have a lot of makings of a Maximum Carnage movie. Think it will ever happen? Yes. I absolutely believe we're going to get a Maximum Carnage here pretty soon. You've got Venom 2 coming out. I think they start filming that next year, or I think they might have already started filming it and it comes out next year or the year after. Who knows with COVID and everything. But you've got Carnage going to be in that movie. Uh, are we going to get some of the other symbiotes into it as well? Are we going to really just jump into that Maximum Carnage? Where are we going to go with that? How big of a role is Carnage going to be? Which I absolutely love the casting of Woody Harrelson as Carnage in that, because nobody plays crazy better than Woody. And that's what Carnage is. That's what Cletus Cassidy is. He's an absolute nutcase, crazy psychopath, and nobody plays crazy better than Woody Harrelson. That's as crazy as it gets right there. I don't see anybody doing crazy better than Woody, and bringing him in for the next Venom, and they're talking about bringing Tom Holland Spider-Man into it. So we'll see how we kind of get that. You've kind of got a different dynamic with Venom and Spider-Man. in that universe, just because it's supposed to be Spider-Man getting the Venom suit first, and then Eddie Brock getting it later. But we'll see what happens with that. If they were smart, they build up Maximum Carnage like the way they did with Infinity War was built up. Absolutely. Um, that's one of those where, yeah, I want to see. Give me a multi movie, Maximum Carnage film. Don't shoehorn it all into one. Give it to me multiple. Like when I talked about the Justice League and them and Batman vs Superman and them just shoehorning Doomsday into there. If you're gonna put Doomsday in there, I want the death of Superman. And yes, they did the death of Superman, but I want the death of Superman from the comics. Give me a couple movie story where it's not just the death of Superman, you have the build up and the battle, but then you have the aftermath of everybody coming in and taking the place of Superman. You've got four different Supermans. Which one's the real Superman? To where it eventually leads to the real Superman coming back and coming back to life. Give me that versus what they gave us with Batman versus Superman in Justice League, where you just kind of, okay, now he's back. We threw him in the ship, and now he's back. But you didn't have Superboy. You didn't have the Eradicator. You didn't have Steel. You didn't have that build up and what was going on and everything going on with Supergirl at the time and her, feeling sorry for her not being there and being able to step up and help Superman. And I mean, you haven't even introduced Supergirl into the um, DC cinematic universe, so there's just a lot that I would have liked to have seen there. Just stop shoehorning so much in. That's what DC really needs to do. I'm of the opinion that the Snyder Cut's not going to be that great. Uh, because again, they're trying to do too much with it. They're bringing Jared Leto back as Joker now. They're adding Deathstroke into there. There's so much. They better not cast Shaq as Steel again. Oh man, I remember when that movie came out. I was just so excited. It's Shaq. It's a superhero movie. I was a little kid. I didn't know any better, and I watched it, and I was like, why? But yeah, no. I don't see them doing that. There's so many other guys that you can bring into that Steel role. Mike Coulter, for example, although there's rumors that he's going to be coming back as Luke Cage in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I even saw something that they're going to be bringing the Defenders back and adding a couple other characters into it and that. But I would definitely, he's someone who I think would be a great Steel. Um, but again, he's with Marvel or he's not with Marvel, but he will be back with Marvel as Luke Cage because I thought he did an excellent job there. Idris Elba would be a good Steel. I don't mind Idris Elba at all. Dude's good. Um, I loved him as Heimdall in Thor, and you see him, die, but um, I thought he did a great job as Heimdall in Thor, and yeah, so now he's open, so he can go over to DC and play Steel, and hey, I'm down with that. I think that would be a great casting there. There's a few other, maybe even Terry Crews. I could see him doing something like that, but I know he's trying to work his way into some other roles and things like. So we'll see what he gets into, but he's definitely trying to get into the comic book realm of things. He really wanted to try and be Luke Cage, but that didn't work out. But I was super happy with Mike Coulter being cast as Luke Cage because I thought he did a great job there. The next cast, speaking of DC, HBO Max, they've got what I saw, again, rumors, there's nothing that's been confirmed, but everything that you're seeing now is Michael Keaton has signed on to play Bruce Wayne in a Batman Beyond live action TV series on HBO Max, and that would be awesome. Batman Beyond, that's, this is in the future when Batman is older. He can't really be Batman anymore, and he has Terry McGinnis take over the mantle, and Bruce is almost his Alfred to his Batman. It's something that I've more recently gotten into. I wasn't into Batman Beyond, earlier. That was kind of during my dark period of comics and the comic book shows and things like that. So I was never big into the Batman Beyond, but it is something that I have gotten into recently with reading the comic, and it's something that I've enjoyed. And then now seeing that they're going to be casting, hopefully casting, and it gets confirmed, Michael Keaton to play the older Bruce Wayne for the Batman Beyond show, I think would be awesome. You've got him rumored to also be in the Flash movie. They're doing a Flashpoint, and so there was even talks like he might be almost like a Nick Fury of the DC world in that aspect. So are you getting him brought over from a different multiverse and things like that? So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully those casting rumors are true. I'm definitely excited to see that. The next thing that's going to be coming out on HBO Max that I'm looking forward to. Now, first of all, I got to get caught up on this show to begin with. It wasn't a show that I got to watch when it came out, the first 2 seasons. So I'm just waiting, I guess, for season 3 to come out on HBO Max so that I can go ahead and watch the first 2 seasons, because once season 3 comes on, they should have the other seasons on there like they did with Doom Patrol, is Titans. And they released today some photos of Red Hood is confirmed to be in season 3 and what he's going to look like. And the way that they've got Red Hood looking for this Titans, Jason Todd again, being the Red Hood, is absolutely amazing. And I've got a picture here from, HBO Max. They released it. This is what Red Hood is going to look like on the show on Titans, and that is awesome. Cannot wait to see that in the live action. Again, I've got to get caught up on the first 2 seasons before I can get into that third season. But that would be absolutely awesome, and I can't wait, Mike. Yeah, you just finished season 2. I haven't had a chance to watch yet because I didn't get the DC streaming package, so I haven't had anywhere to watch it yet. But with it coming out, season 3 coming out on HBO Max, it's definitely going to. They'll release the other seasons on there as well. That's what they did with Doom Patrol when they brought season 2 onto HBO Max. They brought season 1 on there as well. So when that does happen, I'm going to power through the first 2 seasons so I can get caught up and get on that third season. If Michael Keaton is going to come back, think Jack Nicholson will be the older Joker. I would love to see that. Absolutely love to see that, because I'm of the opinion that he's the best. Jack's the best Joker. The original Batman movie was made by Jack's Joker. That movie was about him. It's a Tim Burton movie. Those movies are dark. They're pretty much about the bad guys, and that's what that first Batman movie was about. The main character in that movie was the Joker, and Jack's Joker was just absolutely phenomenal, great. I loved it. It's that different type of Joker than you had with Heath Ledger's Joker. Two completely different styles of Joker, which you've had different Jokers throughout the years. That's actually a storyline in the DC comics right now. You've got the Three Jokers comics that's out, and it's talking about the 3 different Jokers that Batman has faced throughout his life. And you're getting to see all the different ones that there were, and it's awesome. But yeah, I would love to see. Give me Jack. He doesn't have to be in there too much. Just give me an episode or 2 of an older Joker in there in the Batman Beyond. That would be awesome. Just try and get him in there because it's Jack, and Jack's awesome, and the Joker is awesome. So next, I'm going to talk about something I'm super excited about. The end of this week, going back to Disney Plus. The end of this week is going to be the launch of season 2 of The Mandalorian. We're 4 days away. 4 days away from season 2 of The Mandalorian. I just saw online just before I came on, they have the release schedule of all the episodes. And I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, I'm sad to report they're just doing 1 episode a week. I was really hoping you were going to get a couple episodes to start off with, kind of like or an episode, and then a couple days later you got the second episode, kind of like what they did with the first season. We're not getting it at this time. We're getting 1 episode at a time, 1 a week. That's what we're going to get. But you better believe those come out on Friday. On Mondays, I'm going to be here talking about the new episode. So if that's something that you watch, please make sure you watch it before you tune in on Monday, because I'm going to be talking about The Mandalorian every week. It's going to be hard for me to stay offline and not talk about it until Monday. But yes, I'll be talking about The Mandalorian every week on Mondays. I'm looking forward to it. What we got here, Mike? Mike's going. Jack's Joker was the funny Joker. Ledger's was the dark, brutal, and Phoenix was the mentally disturbed. Joker has many sides. Yes, he does, and that's what's so great about that Joker character is the different sides of him, and seeing all the different ways that he's portrayed. And I've absolutely loved everybody's portrayal. I even like Jared Leto's portrayal. Getting that kind of a gangster type Joker in there. His Joker, it was definitely different, and I liked it, and I was excited to see him um, continue that role. But then they released the Joaquin Joker, and he got upset. But there are rumors that they're going to be doing a standalone Bat flick. Ben Affleck as Batman on HBO Max, and they're going to be bringing Jared Leto back for the Joker, and I would love to see that, especially if it's on HBO, because everything HBO does is good quality as far as movies and shows are concerned. So, but back to the Mandalorian. That's it. It absolutely fell in love with the first season. Loved it. I've watched it a couple times. Everything that they're going to be doing with this season, I'm really excited about the characters that they're going to be introducing. Which, I mean, I guess it's kind of counter what I've been saying about everything with the DC universe, where they're trying to shoehorn in too many characters. Whereas with this season, The Mandalorian, they're bringing their Boba Fett, Sabine Wren, Ahsoka Tano, uh, and there's several others. Maybe even Ezra Miller. There's been talks of continuing his storyline and bringing that back into the Mandalorian. There's just so many characters that they've talked about, and you had this last week. You had what was it? Ewan McGregor was on the set of the Mandalorian wearing his Obi-Wan suit. Now it was his costume, but that was to get ready for the Obi-Wan show. He was coming and trying it on, and he just so happened to be there. But we'll see what happens. What we got here? Rumor has it WWE wrestler Sasha Banks is supposed to be in the new season of The Mandalorian. Yeah, I mean, and there's so many people that really want to be on it. It's almost kind of like that next Game of Thrones. When Game of Thrones came out and it was so huge and big, all these celebrities wanted to do cameos and things like that in it. They're just trying to get in it any way they possibly can. They did that with the Star Wars movies, where you had Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper, and there were several other people that were stormtroopers throughout all of it. You had in season one of The Mandalorian, you had God, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name. Jason Sudeikis was one of the stormtroopers. He's one of the ones that punched the child. He was the one who punched the child in that episode when they had captured him and taken him away. So you're going to see a lot of big names, I think, kind of in cameos, or they're going to be in those cameos where you don't know it's them. Like what they did with Daniel Craig, with Jason Sudeikis, and things like that. So, but Mandalorian season 2 comes out this Friday. Cannot wait for it to come out. Looking forward to it. That's one of those I'm going to wake up. Um, yeah, I was super happy with the first season too, Ryan. It was really good. Um, I absolutely loved it, and you had that whole Western feel to it and things like that. I thought that was cool. You're doing something different with the Star Wars universe. You're not focusing on the Force and the powers, although you do have the child who has the Force, but that's not the main focus of it. That's not the main aspect of it. It's the Mandalorian and what he's going through and doing. So we'll see what happens, especially when you're starting to bring Ahsoka Tano in there. Is she going to play a big role? Is she going to play a small role? You don't know yet. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna wake up early before work on Friday, and I'm gonna watch the first episode before I even go to work, because that's what I did with every episode last season. Woke up early Friday morning, watched it, then got ready for the workday. Got the kids ready and all that. So I'll be waking up early again this Friday and watching it, and I cannot wait. Can't wait. And last but not least today, I know TJ's been hanging around just waiting, just waiting. He's been begging me to watch The Tick. Every time I talk to everyone, I say, "What should I watch next? What should I watch next?" TJ's right there. The Tick, The Tick, 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 Tick. I finally broke down. I was like, okay, I got nothing else going on right now. Let me go ahead and watch The Tick. It's on Amazon. There's 2 seasons of it. I am 7 episodes into season 1, so I got like 5 episodes left, I think it is. and I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's not the Tick of Old, the old cartoon, show that I watched growing up. It's definitely different, but I am definitely looking forward to the new Batman movie coming out. Looks like the Tick, dude. Mike, I've been saying it, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. I think the new Batman movie is gonna suck. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's gonna be good. Um, Batman looks ridiculous. His head's too small. His suit looks weird. The Batmobiles from the Fast and the Furious. Um, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that good. I just don't think it's going to be. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I 100%. I've said it every time I've talked trash about it. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think the Batman's going to be good. I'm going to go see it opening weekend when it comes out. I'll go see it that Friday, Saturday. I'll be, one of the first ones out there to go see it, but I'm going into it with low expectations. And maybe because I'm going to go into it with low expectations, it might just actually surprise me and be good. But I have low expectations. I don't think it's going to be that great. Oh well, I catch a lot of flack for that, but whatever. Yeah, you got the Twilight guy in there playing Batman. He's wimpy as hell. Which everyone always points out all these other roles that he's played, and that's cool. He's played all these other roles, and he's been a complete badass in a lot of these other roles. But I see sparkly vampire guy, So we'll see. But Tick, TJ's been waiting, dude. TJ, I'm enjoying the Tick. Like I said, I'm 7 episodes in. I just finished episode number 7 before I came here to do the show. I've knocked out 3 episodes tonight. Sat down and watched one with the kiddo, and there was a couple times where you've got one of the guys dropping a couple F-bombs, and I look over and she's laughing. I'm just like, don't you repeat that. Don't you don't let me catch you repeating what you're hearing on this show. So might not have to watch it anymore with the kiddo, but it was one of those where I was like, let me just go ahead and kind of stop that. Go ahead and get the 50 Shades of Grey to play Batman. Oh man, yeah. But I recommend the Tick. It's a quick watch. The episodes are like 20 minutes long, 21, 22 minutes. They're not long at all, and they fly by quick. It's a quick 10, 20 minutes. A lot happens in each episode. It keeps the storyline keeps going, things are happening, and then it ends and always ends where it's like it gives you that feel where it's like a commercial break, even though I'm watching it streaming and there is no commercial breaks, but it always feels like okay, I'm at a commercial now, and then it's whoop, fires up and the next episode fires, which that's one thing Amazon's doing. I don't know if they're doing it right or they're doing it wrong. For me, maybe a little bit wrong, or for other people, for them, they're doing it right. You've got like 2 seconds before it fires up the next episode. It goes the episode ends. It goes to a little bit of black, pops up there in the corner. New episode starting in. New episode starts. You don't even get the credits or nothing. It just launches right into that next episode. So if you turn your head for a second, you can finish an episode and start the next episode and not even know it. You won't even know what happens. It gets you that quick. So that can be dangerous if you're sitting there. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna watch one episode, and you just so happen, your kid walks in, or the missus comes in and asks you something. You turn, you look, you answer it, and you turn back around. Next thing you know, you're in the next episode, and you don't even know it, because after you watch it for a minute, it just automatically skips the opening credits for you and everything. So it's dangerous. It gets you, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm gonna power through. Yeah, I'll probably end up powering through the rest of season 1 and even season 2 before next week. Tell you guys what I think about the series as a whole, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I really would have liked Patrick Warburton to be the Tick. To me, he's always been the Tick. He's been that voice and things like that. But the guy who's playing the Tick, Peter Senzer, I don't know how he's doing a good job. I'm liking him. The guy who's playing Arthur is pretty good. And the girl playing Dot is good, his sister. But it's definitely, I'm enjoying it. I would highly recommend you watch it. Love all the different Ticks, both live shows and the cartoon. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying them both, and I'm gonna have to see if I can find where I can watch the old cartoon tick, and give that another run through because it's been a long time since I've watched it. Uh, I remember enjoying it definitely. I really did. I watched them all, but it's been since they came out, so that's definitely something I maybe I'll look and see where I can find that streaming and start going through the old cartoon episodes of the Tick. But the live action, it's good. Definitely enjoying it. It's worth the time to watch. Like I said, the episodes are like 20 minutes, so you can just it's something you can go through pretty quick. And I think like season it's only like 13 episodes a season, so that's something you can sit there. You can sit down and knock it down in one night. You can knock it down in a couple nights, real quick, real easy. It's over before you know it, and you enjoy it. You get some good laughs, um, and it's fun. But that's all I got for tonight, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. I appreciate it. Make sure to tune in Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for Strikeout Beer. Me and Rapid Dave, we're actually going to be talking comics. We got Chris Hayes from Pastime Comics and Collectibles who's going to be joining us. He's got a comic con that he's putting on out here in Hurst, Texas this weekend. So we're going to talk to him about that. But not only that, but he's a comic book creator. He owns a comic book store. So we're going to get into all that, talk about some of the comics he's wrote, things like that. Thank you, Mike. Hey, Mike, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I definitely enjoyed having you on. Enjoy the participation. Thank you. I'm here Mondays 9:30 ish, between 9 and 9:30 Central Time. So just make sure you hit that notification button so you can go ahead and get those notifications when I go live. Tomorrow, you can check out my boy TJ, Just Be a Dad podcast. It's going live 8:30 Central Time. Hopefully, that's the right time, TJ. I think that's what you said. But it's him and his boy Nate, and they are talking all about being dads. Oh, thank you. That's a bunch of local artists. Here in the DFW area, I got a lot of this art from, and William Russell, the angry artist as well. He's a pretty cool artist as well that I follow on Facebook. But 8:30 Central Time, Just Be a Dad podcast. TJ and Nate, they break down being a dad. I think they're talking about when to introduce guns to your kids this next week, video games, things like that. They get into a little bit of sports. They just talk about that dad life, building a community for dads, by dads, and it's always a good time. So make sure you check that out, as well as he's Whiskey Pro 86. Check him out on Twitch. He's got Whiskey Pro streams on Facebook, and you're gonna start doing some Facebook streaming if I'm not wrong on that. But make sure you check him out. Give him a like. Go in there and boom in the chats. Give him some whiskey and some eggplants in there as well. But hey, guys, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I'll talk to you guys again next week. Deuces.